Hello, hello, everyone. It is Brenda here for Stamplicity, and welcome to What's Up Wednesday. All right, we're going to get all spookified tonight. We are going to explore some Halloween products that we just got in because really, Halloween is just around the corner. So, if you are joining me, can you just let me know if you can hear me okay? I've just changed things up a little bit and working with my headphones, so I just want to make sure that you can hear me okay. So either give me a thumbs up on whatever you're watching me, whether it be on Facebook or YouTube, and let me know the sound is okay. All right. So this evening, like I said, we are going to explore Halloween. We have some great new products in from, thank you, Joanne. Thanks for giving me a thumbs up there. All right, awesome. Thank you, Debbie. Appreciate it. Welcome to everyone. All right, and thank you. Hooray. All right, it worked. All right. So like I said, we're going to explore some really great products that we just got in from Hero Arts and Spellbinders. We're going to make at least 5 cards tonight. I know I'm ambitious, but lots of different fun. I'm going to incorporate some different techniques in here. Better press. I'm going to be doing, well, I've done the foiling already, but I want to explain that. And we're going to explore the new rub-ons from Spellbinders. All right. So a jam-packed evening ahead. If you have any questions, make sure you put them in the comments. I am watching comments, and welcome, welcome everyone. Thanks for letting me know that the sound is good. All right. So let's just talk about some of the products that I have in front of me. Really, most of them are Hero Arts, except for the Spellbinders here. Now, I will be using dies from Spellbinders, but I'm really concentrating on the Halloween products. All right, so this one here is the Spellbinders. These are the rub-ons. Now, Nicole informed me today that we have only a few of these left, but we do have more on order. All right, so if you are interested in these and they say sold out on the website, just let us know that you want some and we'll hold them for you. So Spellbinders has now come up with rub-ons, all right, which I'm really excited. This is their Stay Spooky. And this is my first time using the rub-ons from Spellbinders. So we're going to find out how awesome they really are. When I open up this package, you are going to get 2 6x8 sheets in here. All right, let me pull these out here. You're going to get 18 images and sentiments together. All right, so you can see that the rub-ons have some nice substance to them, and you've got some great sentiments. Now, I know they have Christmas ones like these ones as well, which are the larger images and the sentiments, and it's usually an equal balance of images and sentiments, which is really awesome. And then the Christmas ones also have little minis, which work with a wax seal line of theirs. But there are this one, and then there is a Christmas that have the larger images and sentiments. So this is the one that we're going to work with tonight. All right, some of the imagery on there. And it also comes with a popsicle stick for your rubbing, but I'm going to show you a cool technique using your die cut machine with rub-ons. All right. Then we're going to kind of explore some of the other products from Hero Art, some of the new things. Now, these stencils that I'm using, these are not new. They're from past years, but they just work really well with the Halloween line. This one here, I threw out the packaging already, but this one is the Star Cluster. All right, so you can see lovely kind of wispy movements of stars on this one. So it's really great for a background for Halloween. And then I'm also going to be using this one here, which I love. And this one is called Swirling Stars. Now, this one here, I think is just a great background, whether you're, doing celebration cards or projects. It's also good for winter time, but we're going to use it for Halloween tonight. All right, so we're going to use that one. Okay, so those are the stencils I'm going to be using. Then the standalone stamp set, I'm going to be using this one. So it's got some really great, simple sayings on here. And then this one here is the stamp set, but if you would prefer to have it, it's not the exact same, but it has some of the same sayings on there. This is the Hero Arts letterpress and foil and cut. All right, so this here is a press plate or press plates that you can either use in your Better Press system or in your foiling machine, your glimmer machine. And then it also has the die cuts to cut them out. So I've done this already with some foil and they turned out so awesome. All right, so we're going to be using that. And then I have these two guys. Now, the little ghosts, this one here is called Boo to You. Super cute, right? You get 4 different sizes of ghosts. Some of them are facing the left, some of them are facing the right. And then you have some accessories in there. And then my favorite, oh, I love this one here. And this one is called the Witch's Hat. And it is beautiful. We're going to do a shaped card with this one this evening. I love this one because you can really kind of make it a traditional, witch's hat in the traditional Halloween colors, or you can have some fun with some really playful colors. I mean, imagine that hat in a pink. It would be beautiful, right? Anyone that's got, an October birthday, this would be a great thing to use. That's right. So just don't see it as a Halloween thing. You can actually use it for other occasions that may be in October. All right. So that is where we're going this evening. And then there'll be bits and pieces of other things that we're using. All right. So let's get started. We're going to start with the rub-ons. So let me just move this to the side. And we're going to do some simple cards. I want to show you how easy it is with these rub-ons to create some really great cards. So the first one I'm going to use, though, I am going to do a Better Press background. So I'm going to grab my Better Press. And while I'm doing that, I haven't decided what color ink I want to use the spider web. All right. So this is one of the very first Better Press plates that came out. When the Better Press first came out, they came out with a huge selection to start off with. And I will never get rid of this one, even though I don't do a lot of Halloween cards. The lines on here are just beautiful when you press it. All right. So this is a cover plate. Again, these plates you can use with your foiling machine, which is pretty awesome. And you're going to get these beautiful fine lines to make this spider web background. So I am going to just treat this like nobody knows what a Better Press is and just kind of go over the basics. Before I do that, I do need to clean my Better Press because, as you can see, there is gold ink all over it. So I don't know where my cleaner is. So maybe we will not clean it. All right, we're just going to wipe that. All right, it's stuck on there. I don't know where my cleaner is, so we're just going to go with it. Okay, so I'm going to take my Better Press plate. I'm going to put it on the base of my Better Press system in amongst that A2 guidelines there, all right? So this is a little bit bigger than an A2, so that means you're going to get full coverage on your panel. So that's ready to go. And then I'm going to take my lid here, and I am going to grab my Better Press paper. I am using Better Press paper for this one. Do you have to? No, but you'll get the best results for this. All right, so because I'm doing an entire background here, I don't want to put my tape in the 4 corners. So I will typically use, I learned this now, if I can find it. No, I don't have it. Ooh, I am not. All right, we'll just do this. Okay. If you have repositionable tape, it's really great if you use that on the back side of your Better Press paper. I'm just going to put a couple of runs of tape runner on the back to hold it flat. All right. And then I'm going to center it in amongst those corner guidelines there. Now I am using this pale gray. This is the Pebble Better Press paper. It's a very pale gray. I think it works with, it will work with our Halloween feel here. All right. So I've got that centered in there. All right. So you guys have to decide, are we going to do black or should we do silver for the spider web? All right. I think I'm going to use a little kitty cat on here. So I'm going to use this guy here, and we're working with blacks and grays. So you tell me, should we do black ink or should we use the titanium Cloud 9 metallic ink from Lisa Horton? All right, I'm letting you decide because I couldn't make up the decision. So first one to answer. I know there's a delay, so I have to wait. Who's going to do it? Ta-da. Who's going to tell me? Somebody. I hear all of you. I see all of you on here. So metallic. All right. That was like everyone was typing metallic at the same time. All right. Metallic it is. All right. So this is titanium. This is a metallic ink. And I love using these inks on Better Press. They do really, really nice pressing. So when you go ahead and ink your press plate, you got to be careful because this ink pad is a little bit different. Where Better Press ink pad is a felt one, it's got a little bit of density to it. It's kind of more firmer. This one here is more of a sponge, so it's a little bit more squishier. So I'm just doing light kind of taps and rotations. I'm not really giving it CPR or anything. I'm just giving it light taps here, just making sure it's fully covered. All right, so I'm thinking I'm good. All right. We'll take our lid, we're going to flip it over so that the paper will be towards the press plate. Everything is going to snap together. Nothing is happening until we put it through our die cut machine. Now I'm just going to grab mine here. I'm not sure if the camera's going to catch it. Yeah, just a little bit here. All right, so I'm just going to run that through, and we're going to have one incredible shiny or sparkly spider web. And take a look at that. Oh, look at those fine lines. It is absolutely stunning. I always go the ooh and ah. Now, I'm not sure if you can see the slight sparkle on there, but there is with the metallic inks, but that pressed beautifully. So thank you. Thank you for all you're telling me to do that. All right, so I'm going to pull that off this. Now, I do recommend using double repositionable tape. I used regular adhesive, so it's really going to get stuck on there. But the other thing that you can use is the sticky grid from Sizzix. Works really well on there as well. But there we go. So there we have our background. All right, so I'm going to put this away. I'm going to put that to the side, and then I'm going to grab what I already have prepped for this one. Like I said, we're going to use the kitty cat on here. So we're going to attach this onto here, and that's going to be a background. Now, another great background, you could use an embossing folder for this, all right? So we did the spider webs. All right, then I used the modern ovals, which one of my favorite shapes. Just did some die cutting here. So on the top, I have a very light cardstock, light gray cardstock here, and then I went one shade up. So this is fog and this is anchor. All right, and I just cut them out. And now let's go ahead and grab our little kitty cat. So when I work with rub-ons, whatever I choose, I just go ahead and cut it out from the sheet. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and cut that out. Okay, now I'm going to grab my die cut machine because I always think this is a great technique to show everyone if you don't know about this, all right? So there are rub-on tools. You get that little popsicle stick there as well in the packaging. But you can use the pressure of your die cut machine will also transfer it over, which then is brilliant because it's less work. So when you have a rub-on, there's a release sheet on the back, all right? So when you are ready, you've cut it out. You're going to then peel it off of the release sheet. And then you are going to go ahead and center or place your rub-on where you want it on your project, all right? So I am kind of centering it on my little oval die cut here. And I pushed it closer to the bottom because I am going to put a sentiment on the top there. All right, so that is on there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just run it through my machine as if I was doing a die cut. All right, so this is my standard sandwich here for a regular die cut when you use those kind of regular dies, you know, the metal dies. And so that's on there. I've got my top plate, and I'm going to just run that through. And the pressure of the machine will actually transfer that rub-on onto the paper, or at least it should. Because if it's going to go wrong, it's going to go wrong when I'm doing a live. All right, so, all right, I have, okay, it did good. I just have a little piece of the hat that did not transfer. So this is where I'm going to just take my little popsicle stick. See if I can get that. And no worries if I don't. Yeah, I did. Okay. So I'm just going to pull that off. And look, transferred. I mean, that was no work at all. So look how great that image is. That is fantastic. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited that worked. All right, so not sure if you knew that about using your die cut machine with rub-ons. It makes a world of difference. Okay, so we need a sentiment on here. We can do Happy Halloween, stay spooky, boo to yours, Bjorn, and have fun. Let's just do Happy Halloween. All right, so again, I'm going to trim that out. I think this will fit on there. All right, and then I'm going to place this on there. Let's make sure it is straight, which is always tricky to do when you're working on an oval. Looks straight to me. All right, so that is on there. I'm going to put my top plate on here, and let's go ahead and run that through my little scout here. All right. I'm just going to go backwards so I can take it out this way. And let's see if that transferred over. When I remove the backing from my rub-on, I always go slow just to make sure everything transferred off okay. All right, we did it okay. There we go. Happy Halloween is on there. All right, yay, that works. Okay, so there's that. All we're going to do now is we're going to take, this is not my normal tape runner. All right, let's get to my normal one. Okay, we're going to go ahead and attach this now to my dark gray mat. All right, so this is just going to get centered, framed in. Okay. I'm going to stick my spiderweb pressed background, and I'm just doing this on a black mat. This black mat is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. My better pressed paper is 4 by 5 1/4, so it's going to frame in there nicely. And then I think I'm going to pop that up, and that one is done. Really quick and simple. Let's get some pop foam squares here real quick. Keep on forgetting to bring home foam tape in a roll. Just find that goes a little bit easier. All right. So we're just going to center that on our pressed background. I can really see the metallic shine now that ink is starting to dry. I think we're good there. All right, and how cute is that? Really quick and simple card. And again, like I said, you can change the background if you wanted to with an embossing folder, all right? But I love rub-ons. I mean, that's so, so cute. All right, so card 1, done. All right, let's move on. And we're going to do a shaped card this time. And this one here, I don't know the name of this one. And I'm not sure what I did with my dies. I don't know what I've done with them, but I love this one because I love making a shaped card with this shape because the bottom is flat, so it will stand up. So what I've done is, this is a die from Spellbinders, and I wish I could tell you the name of it, but let me see if it's on my table here. It is not. That means it's disappeared. Anyways, I can always post it in the comments. All right, so what I've done is from the largest die, I cut a white one and I cut a black one. Now the black is going to be the front of my card. This is going to be kind of the inside of the card. Then I also cut one size down in white. And then we're going to do some inking on this one to create a real nice inky background on there. And then I cut a smaller one in that gray, and that's going to go on the front here, and we're going to put the rub on this one. All right, so we've got some things to do with this one. Now, to make a shaped card, like I said, you always need to have 2 of the same shape. You can keep them the same color. For this one here, my front of my card is going to be black. The back or the bottom of my card is going to be white. All right, so they're the same. Then all we need to do is score a little line on the one that is in the back, all right, the bottom piece. So I'm going to take this in here, and I'm going to score it at 1 inch. I think that's going to give us a nice amount. All right, so you can see my score line there. So all I need to do now is add adhesive to the top of that score line, all right? And then we're going to stick the 2 together, and that's going to become our card. Now, if you want, you can fold this back and forth a few times just to kind of train that paper. That's going to be the fold of the card. And then I'm going to grab you could use double-sided adhesive. I'm using glue for this. All right, so, and then I'm going to take my top piece and I'm going to line up. And because it's used the same die to cut this out, they're going to match up perfectly. And now I have a card once that glue sets. All right, so I'm just going to give that a few seconds just for that to tack down. And then when we open this up, now we have our fun shaped card. All right, I love doing fun shaped cards. Okay, I'm going to put that to the side, but let's go ahead and ink this up. So I'm going to use some real Halloween colors here. I was working on another project, so I have some colors here, blues and purples. What do I got? and grays. All right, so let's go with, well, let's go with this palette here. All right, I have Villainous Potion, I have Black Soot, and I have Blueprint Sketch. Let's work with that color palette and create a lovely background. So I'm going to start with the blue. And let's get my blending brush here. Where's my blue blending brush? Is it on my desk? No, it's not. All right. All right, there it is. Okay, so I'm going to start with the blue. Now, because this is going to be centered in the top or on the front of this, I don't need to go right into the center, but I'm going to start with what is going to be my lighter color. And I'm just going to go kind of around the edge and bringing that kind of blue color towards the center of this piece. And I think I have my oxide brush here. Not going on so smoothly, but. So when I do a blended background, I always start off the paper and then get the color onto the paper or the brush in a rotating motion. And I do clockwise and counterclockwise. All right, so there is my first color. I might deepen it up just a little bit. And then we're going to go on to purple. Now, if you don't own a Villainous Potion, it's become my new favorite purple. It is just beautiful. It is a dark purple. It's perfect for Halloween. My pad is like, thank you, Ruby. Ruby says the name of the die is the Scallop Labels and Tags. So thank you, Ruby. I did have it here. I had a whole, doesn't matter. You answered it. Thank you very much. And Becca says the shape looks like a tombstone. Yeah, I didn't even think of that. It just appealed to me, but I guess it would because as we're dealing with Halloween. All right, so I'm going to grab this Villainous Potion, and it's such a good mix with that Blueprint Sketch. Like I said, it is a dark, dark purple. It is beautiful. It's my new favorite purple, and I'm not a purple person. I am not, but I do love this one. I've been working on a few projects for Halloween's for some exclusive groups and such, and I've been using this one, and I have just fallen in love with it. All right, so like I said, I'm just kind of going around the edges with this, and I'm not bringing this purple right into the center. I still want that kind of blue color to come through. All right, so if I take a look, you can see that that's going to cover it. So I've gone in far enough. All right, so. Okay, so there's that. And then we're going to finish it off, and we're just going to hit the edges with a little bit of black soot. So let me just grab my blending brush and I'm just hitting the edges. I don't want to cover all that blue and purple. I just want to darken the edges. Okay, there is that. All right, so I'm going to pull that up so you can kind of see what I've done there. It looks awesome. And I'm going to clean up my inky mess here. And why don't we splatter this with some gold paint? Because why not? All right, so, I got to go grab my water bottle. Oh, I have one here. So a little fun story. My water bottle is in the kitchen because I have to give our cat a probiotic powder in the morning. And I have to put it on his treats for him to eat it. But the only way the powder will stick to his treats if I moisten it. So I have to use my little craft spray to moisten his treats to put his probiotic powder on. That's why it's not here on my desk. All right, so I'm gonna grab my watercolor, my gold watercolor, and let's go ahead and splatter this. And I just really need to splatter it around the edges because the center is not going to be seen. All right, so, ooh, that gold looks awesome on those colors. Just saying. All right. We're going to let that dry. I'm going to hold it up to the camera so you can really see that. Oh, that looks awesome. Ooh, love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, I'm going to put that to the side to dry. I'm going to clean up my mess. And let's go ahead now and take our little piece that's going to now mount on that front of that inked piece, and let's put a rub-on on there. So what should we put on here? Let's see. We have, oh, the haunted house is cute. And I like the gate as well. All right, let's see what will fit. Well, haunted house is a little too wide. Okay, let's do the gate. All right, so again, I'm just going to trim this out. I'm going to peel the backing off, and I'm going to center this. And I'm going to bring it to the bottom because I have room for a sentiment on the top, all right? So I'm going to center this left to right on my little shape. Oh, that's not really centered now, is it? Well, I'm going to commit to it because it's kind of stuck there. I'm worried I'm going to pull some of the rub-on off. So, all right. So again, I'm going to bring my little die cut machine out here, and we're going to go ahead and, you know what? Never mind. I'm going to put my sentiment on here as well. Creepy fun awaits. Wishing you a spooky night. I'm going to go, will that fit? I don't know if that's going to fit. Beware and have fun. I'm going to do that one. I know that one's going to fit. It's not as wide as the other ones. So, okay. Oh, you know what? I can't do them all because this one's a little too high. Okay. I tried to save time there, guys, but it's not going to work. The top of my rub-on is just a little too high with the plastic. Yes, Sherry says glow-in-the-dark embossing powder or texture paste would be cool. Now, funny you should say that because I was going to use glow-in-the-dark embossing powder tonight, but I don't think I am. But maybe I might change my mind. All right. Oh, look at that. Oh, love it, love it, love it. Okay, I'm going to put my sentiment on there. Beware and have fun. So this one here, I'm just going to put on the top of our little gate here. It looks centered. No, it looks centered to me. You can't see it in the camera, but I don't know. How many of you make Halloween cards? It's back in the day, I mean, we hardly sold any Halloween product, but over the years, it has become more and more popular. So my little end for the end wasn't rubbing or did not rub off all the way. So I just went back in. And this is why I always say just go gently pulling that off because then you can line it back up. I just lost the end of the end there. But I gotta say these are pretty good rub-ons. They're not like 49 a market. I don't think anything tops 49 a market rub-ons, but these are pretty darn good. All right, so there we have beware and have fun. Spooky, spooky. All right, and take a look at that on that purple background. So pretty. All right, so do we want to splatter this with a little bit of gold? Sure. Why not? You know what? I might. No, I'll do it now. I can open this up. Okay, so I just did that. I didn't want it. I'm going to take it just off of. All right. Okay, so there is that. Now we have to wait for that to dry, but I will mount that onto there and then onto our black card front, and then that one will be done. All right, I'll wait till that dries before I do that. All right. So there's that. Sherry, you obviously missed the first of this video because we are working with the witch's hat tonight as well. So, all right. Look at you. You guys, there's a lot of you that are making Halloween cards. So, yeah, I just find that more and more people are making Halloween cards. So, I don't know. I know down in the States, they love Halloween, and sometimes in some cities and such is bigger than Christmas. So, okay, let's continue. We're going to make one more of the rub-ons, and then we're going to move on to some of the dies, the witch's hat and the little ghosts. All right, so let me just grab my little pieces here. All right, so I have cardstock already prepped. Then this one here is going to be that's going to go onto our card front. So it is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. This one here, the dark gray, is 4 by 5 1/4. Now I'm going to go ahead and splatter this with some gold. All right, so we're not doing no inking on this. We're just going to splatter it with some gold. Because we're going to be using a gold foiled sentiment on here. So I just want to bring in some gold. Now I'm just going to do the whole panel. Some of it will be covered, the middle will be covered, and I'm going to go a little crazy with the gold. All right. So, and then we're going to let that dry. Look how lovely that gold on that gray looks. Love it. Okay, we're going to let that dry. And oh, so I'm glad that Irene says she's never seen the rub-ons used through die cut machines. So I'm glad you were able to take something home with you tonight. All right. So for this one here, I am going to use, this is an Elizabeth Craft die. It's a bunch of frames. They come in all different sizes. This is the largest one. So we're going to use this one. So I die cut the large frame out of craft paper. I have a piece of white cardstock that we're going to back that frame. This also comes with little kind of photo corners, all right, in the die. It also comes with a little picture hanger. So we're going to kind of make this into a little framed artwork, all right, using the rub-ons. And then I have the sentiments here. Now this is that letterpress set from Hero Arts. It's this one here, but instead of pressing it, I actually foiled it. It's been a while since I grabbed my foiling machine out, and honestly, I had so much fun doing it. I need to pull out that foiling machine more often. So we're going to make sure that we do something in the next little bit all about using that glimmer machine and go through kind of a refresher on how to use it, because I know I'm not the only one that forgets it's on your shelf. All right. But that is it foiled. All right, there it is in gold foil. Look how beautiful that turned. Of course, this one has the matching die cuts to go with it, all in one pack. So we have that. We have Tis the Season to be spooky, and I also did Boo to You because I don't know which one I'm going to use for this one. All right, so I foiled them in gold. All right, so I'm just going to put that to the side. All right, so but before I do anything, we are going to do a little inky background on this one. And we are going to use the ghost rub-on on this one here. So I might as well get him out and prepped. All right, we don't need a sentiment because I have the foiled ones. All right, so I don't want to get, well, we can go pretty dark on here. All right, I think I'm just going to go to that purple I love so much, Villainous Potion. Let's do it. I'm going to bring in a stencil on this too. All right, so let's go ahead and just kind of blend. I'm going to try to get maybe not so intense with my colors. I say that, but I'm a heavy inker, so it'll turn really intense. So let's make kind of a spooky sky in the background for our ghost. Now, I'm not quite sure, but just in my head as I'm thinking, because we're using distress ink, it stays wet just a tad bit longer. I'm going to zap this with a heat tool before I put the rub on, just to make sure that ink is dry. I don't know if it'll affect the rub on, but I'm just thinking it probably will. So we're going to zap this with the heat tool. So if you are using a rub on over an inked background, I would definitely just make sure it's dry. All right, so there is that. And now I'm going to use one of those stencils. What did I do with them? You know, I'd lose my head if it wasn't oh, here, there, right in front of me. Okay, so I'm going to stick this one. This is the Hero Art Star Cluster. So I'm just going to place that on, and then I'm going to use my lovely magnet to hold that down. And I think I'm going to do this in the blue because it's here. All right, so let's just grab some of that blue and let's go ahead and stencil. So when you are stenciling through a stencil, and I know a lot of you know this already because I always say it, I always go clockwise and counterclockwise. All right, this is how you're going to hit each and every edge of the stencil. This brush is probably even too big for the stencil because of the small little areas. A smaller brush would be better for this because this brush was laying on my desk, I used it. But I would prefer a smaller brush. All right. Sorry, I know I'm shaking the camera. Taking that off, and there's our starry background. Look how fun that is. All right, and then one more last thing before I dry this is I'm just going to hit the edges with a little bit of black just to deepen it up. All right. There is my spooky background. Okay, let's clean up my inky mess here. And like I said, you know what, maybe, yeah, no, I'm going to just zap this with heat too. I was going to get my water bottle and spritz it, but remember my water bottle's in the kitchen. So, all right, so while this is drying, I'm just going to check comments. All right, so a bunch of you do make Halloween cards, so that's awesome. That is awesome. All right, so I'm just going to dry this and then put my rub on here. Okay. All right, so let's take the backing off our rub-on and do I want a sentiment on here? Oh no, yeah, I have sentiments. Never mind, we're not stamping. All right, so we're just going to place him right in the middle here, centering as best I can. And let's grab my little scout and let's do the rub-on. Whoever figured out that using your die cut machine to apply rub-on is just brilliant. I gotta say, just brilliant. All right, let's see if this actually worked on the ink background. Oh, it did. All right, it did really well. Haha, yes. All right, so there is our ghost on our inky background. I love it. And you know what I really love too is that you were seeing a little bit of that stenciled background coming through it, which is kind of cool because, you know, ghost is kind of transparent. So that's kind of cool. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my frame and we're going to put the frame, our artwork, our little ghosty artwork behind here. So I cut my little piece of white paper that's going to go behind her just slightly bigger than the opening of my frame. So I'm just going to use a fine line glue. And we're going to stick that behind. Wow, just kind of bent that. I could not cut this any shorter, I don't think. Oh no, I bent my frame. Good one, Brenda. Good one. All right, we're good now. I just cut the paper just slightly bigger, the opening. I should have gave myself a little bit more room on there, but it's okay. We made it work. All right. So, like I said, this die also comes with the little photo corner. So I thought it'd be cute to just kind of put them in the corners here. And then I might hit this frame with a little bit of black ink just to kind of dirty it up, grunge it up a little bit. So I'm just going to kind of overlap these, not only on the frame, but onto the picture, right? So, all right, so there is that. Haha, yes, Kimberly. Pretty brilliant, right? It makes a world of difference, let me tell you. All right, and then the last little photo corner. I think I just put the glue on the wrong side. I did. Good thing I use a glue that dries clear. All right, and stick that on. Okay. Oops, didn't stick on. It stuck to my finger instead. Okay, so I'm just going to take my black ink brush. I'm not going to add any ink. There's enough ink on there, and I'm just going to kind of hit the edges just to kind of dirty it up a little bit. I'm not even sure if the camera's picking up that it's doing that, but it is. It's just kind of toning that craft down a little bit. All right, so there is that. Look how fun that is. Okay, so let's get our background here. Our gold is still a little wet, so I'm just going to zap that with a heat tool. But that gold on that gray is awesome. All right, I'm going to show you that. Look at that. So pretty. Love it. All right, so our gray piece is going to go onto our black card front here. So I'm just going to lay that down flat. Okay, so not quite centered, but it will do. All right, so we have that. And then I'm going to put my ghost. I do want to put it at a bit of an angle here. I'm going to raise it up because I think I want to put the sentiment. We're going to center it. This is going to go down flat because I just got to fix my frame here. I'm going to lay it down flat. Normally I would have popped it up, but because we have the little hanger for our frame, I won't be able to pop that up. So we're going to just put this flat. It'll all make sense in a second. And like I said, I want to put it at a bit of an angle. All right, so there's that. All right, so here is our little hanger. So we've got it, they do two sizes. This is a little V cut, and then it's got the actual little dot that you can put as your little nail in the wall, which is kind of cool. And again, I will post what this die is, unless someone knows what it is, but it's a bunch of frames. It's an Elizabeth Craft die, and it's really a useful die, in my opinion. But it comes with a bunch of frames, and it has the little photo corners in two sizes, and so Teresa, I just seen your question here. The photo corners come from this Elizabeth Craft die that I am referencing to. I just don't know what I did with my pile of dies. So if I find them by the end of our live tonight, I will definitely do that. If not, I'm going to I'll post them with my finished pictures that we always post here. So on our Facebook page. All right, so there is the little nail for it. So now it looks like it's a hanging picture. All right, and then let's do 'Tis the Season to Be Spooky because it fits really well. And it's going to bring that gold all in now, and we're going to pop this up. At least I think I'm going to pop it up. Yep, there we go. So for those that are just joining in, this foiled word is actually part of this letterpress set from Hero Arts, and I just foiled it on my glimmer machine with gold foil. And it turned out absolutely beautiful, and I love that the dies come with it. So it's got all in one. So you can press, you can foil, and you can die cut them. All right, so there is card number 2 with the rub-ons, right? Quick and simple cards using rub-ons. It's just kind of really kind of making a cool background for these rub-ons. So this one here, we did it kind of in a picture frame. All right, we did some stencil work behind there. So you can put the rub-ons on an ink surface. Just make sure your ink is dry. So there's our first one. And then this one, like I said, I will put together, we made it into a shaped card. I just did an inky background behind there with some fun shaped dies. Again, I'm just waiting for my gold to dry, and I will put that together. And then this one here, we did it with a better press. All right, so those are the rub-ons. And you can see I can still get quite a few more cards from here. You still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 larger images, and then you have the little raven there, which is really, really cute. He's a little bit smaller, but so you can still get 5 cards, which I think is really great value for $8.99 to get all those images. All right, so I'm going to move them to the side, and we're going to continue on, and we are going to, let's do that witch's hat, because Sherry mentioned it. All right, so this one here, I am in love with this die. When Hero Arts presented it at the show, honestly, I just fell in love with it. I love the fact that it's got some substance to it. All right, it's not a difficult die to put together, and for me, all I could see is that I love the shape. It's big enough to make a shaped card, and I love making shaped cards. So that's what I'm going to do with this one. But it's big enough that it will fit on an A2 card nicely. So if I grab, this is the size of an A2, and I'm going to grab my little white hat here. You can see that it will fit on portrait style, or you can do landscape. All right, so it's got some substance to it. And I think you can, like I said, you can have some fun with this one. I'm going to do in traditional Halloween colors, in the blacks and the purples and oranges and such. But I think it'd be fun for anyone that has like an October birthday, that you could make this into, a beautiful pink hat with florals, right? It still has that Halloween feel, and it'd be perfect for an October birthday, just saying. All right, so you want the exact sizes of this. Hey, Ruby's asking for the sizing. Let's see. Oh, I have a ruler here. You're in luck. It does fit on an A2 card like I just showed, but the width of it, all right, so this is from the left point to the right point is 4 inches wide, and then kind of the top to the it's about 3.5. So about 4 by 3.5. All right, so there is that. So what I've done here is I've cut, because I'm going to make a shaped card. You know me, I love my shaped cards. So what I did is I cut the top, which is going to be this lovely glossy black, all right? And this is from Craft Perfect from Tonic Studios. Love this cardstock. It's got the mirrored on the front, die cuts beautifully, and it's white on the back. And then I cut one out of just white cardstock, all right? And of course, it's a bit of a heavyweight cardstock. We want it to have some substance. Okay, so I'm going to take my scoring tool here, and I am going to, I'm going to score this at, now it's going to be really hard to get this kind of as a flat, but you're going to do your best. So that looks, I'm going to do it, I'm scoring it almost about an inch. All right, so I'm going to do that score line. I found my dies, everyone. I found where I put them now. Oh, okay. So let me just grab the dies now. All right. So this is This is the Elizabeth Craft one. This is the picture frames and mats. All right. So that is, sorry, my package is all ripped up. I know. This is the one that I used on that ghost card. All right. So there's that. And like I said, there's photo corners in here. There's little labels, which is really sweet. You get different ones, and then the hangers. All right. So I think this is a really cool die. There's lots of different ways of using this. I love all the little frames in here. Not only is it perfect for card making, it's perfect for scrapbooking. It's perfect for journals as well, for junk journals. It's just a really good one. So that's called Picture Frames and Mats. Look how much you get in there. You get so much in there. All right, and then like Ruby had said, a scallop labels and tag was that one that kind of looks like a tombstone. All right, so there was that one. And then these were the modern essential ovals that I used on the first card. Sorry, it's a little scattered mess in there, but that's the one I used. All right, happy I found my dies. Okay. Oh, Ruby says, I think it would be perfect as an elf hat or a Santa one. Oh, that might be cute. Hmm. Cute with a little bell on the bottom here. Oh, you think you're onto something. All right, but back to my shaped witch's hat. Okay, so I did the score line, so I'm just going to fold that forwards and backwards, and then we're going to put our adhesive on top of that. All right, so I am going to use my glue. You can use your double-sided tape. I just like having glue. This gives me a little time to get it in the right spot and line things up, slide things over so that everything is matchy match. So I'm going to go ahead, press that down, and just let that dry for a second. All right, and then when you open this up now we have our card. This would be a cute little gift tag as well. All right, just if you're going to a Halloween party, little costume party, this would be cute on a little bottle of wine. All right, so there is that. Now let's decorate it. So they have a really great picture on the front of the packaging here. It comes with some floral dies. I'm gonna turn this around. It comes with a bow, comes with some floral dies and some little leaves as well, all right? So the actual bow is kind of a layered bow to give it some texture and depth. So I just did it in purple in two tones, a dark and a lighter one. So I'm just gonna pop the innards out. And I think this is what makes it kind of extra fancy because of the layering on there. All right, so I'm just going to then put some glue behind here and we're going to layer this on the base of the bow, which I cut in a darker purple. All right, and these are going to match up perfectly. All right, so there is our little two-toned bow. All right, pretty. I'm going to let the glue kind of just tack down. All right, so this is the band for the hat. So what I love about this is that you have the deboss lines on there so you can get easy placement for these little details. So the little band here, I know I can fit right in there. It kind of shows me exactly where it goes. Now, because I'm working on metallic or glossy paper, I'm just going to like give that a second to dry before I start putting things on it. All right. So I'm going to put my flowers together. So I cut a large floral I did two, one in a dark orange and then one in a light orange. So I'm just going to layer the lighter of the two on the darker. We're going to offset those petals. All right, so there's one floral, and then there's a smaller floral, and I did the same thing with yellow, a darker yellow and a lighter yellow, and we're just going to offset those with the lighter on top. And again, I actually do a large and a small on top of one another as well, and that's going to give you a different flower again. So I love that there's different ways of using this, and I love that they're not symmetrical either. So they're when you offset them, you may not get the perfect, floral, which is pretty awesome. Okay, so then there's this kind of the flower bud, and I did the same thing. There's the base and then the kind of overlay. So the base, I did it in the darker color, and then the overlay, I did it in the lighter color. So I did one in each of the colors, then the orange and then the yellow. So we're going to glue those together. Now there are floral centers for these, but I think I'm going to use gems, and that's why I did not cut them out. These look like little bird feet. All right, and then there's these really tiny little stems, and I'm going to glue these now onto my floral buds. I'm not going to worry about my larger florals. We're just going to stick them on, and then we can start decorating our hat. All right, so I know a lot of people like say, oh, these florals are just too much work, but really they're not. I know they're a little finicky, but they do really are awesome. All right, so also you're going to get this little lovely leafy branch, and then what I call the berry branch. All right, you're going to get that. So it's a nice little floral cluster that you can create with this. All right, so let's go back to our witch's hat. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to kind of bend up the ends of the bow a little bit. I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive behind the knot of the bow. All right, you could probably pop this up as well. Now, because I made this into a shaped card, my tails are going to be a little too high, but that's okay. I'm going to raise this up just a little bit. All right, now we can have some fun with the florals. And I think I'm going to bend up the petals just a little bit. And I think I'm just going to keep everything flat, which is unusual for me. I'm just going to create a nice little cluster of florals in amongst that bow. I have to be careful because I am working on a slippery surface on that glossy, but look how fun this is. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I need to cut that off a little bit. Too long of stem on that. So I always put my main focals down, my main flowers down, and then I kind of stick all the kind of fillers in. I am making a mess on this glossy paper. So I'm going to rip that little leaf off. Sorry guys, when I get into florals, I just kind of like do my thing. And sometimes I just stop talking. I just keep on. All right, I ripped one of those leaves off. Where did it go? It's gone. All right, I guess I'm not using it. Okay, we got the little berry branches here. If something's too long, I just rip the tail off of it. That's just the way I work. I just rip it off. All right. Look how cute that is. All right, now I gotta find some black gems to put in the center of this. So I had them the other day, and I'm pretty sure they are in here. Or maybe not. Oh, there they are. I see them. Okay, so I'm going to put in the larger flowers. So I'm just going to go ahead, and I've always put a spot of glue down. Even though these are adhesive gems, I always put a little spot of glue. Just helps them stick. That one went flying into my hair. Okay, so there's that. Now this will open up and we have a little nice little shaped card. You can put a little stamped greeting in there. I did do Best Witches as a little saying on here, which I think is the one I'm going to use because I think this one's much too big. It is. All right. So this here, I'm just going to lay across the bottom of our little witch's hat here. I am going to pop this up a little bit though. So let me just grab, I love the fact when they do these little banners, they make them like so that your foam squares fit just beautifully in them. Like it was meant to be. Oopsie. All right, so I'm just gonna lay that across and look how sweet that is. Oh, I love it. Best Witches. All right, so oops, there is our little witch's hat. I love that. Super sweet. And again, that would look lovely on a lovely background. Let me just bring this one because I haven't glued it. Like that would look awesome on there too. Look at how beautiful that is. All right. I don't know, maybe that looks a little bit better than the other one. I'm not sure, but that is pretty fun. All right. So how fun is that? Okay. We got time for one more, guys. I have time for one more. And we're going to do little ghosts. Little ghosts. All right. Boo to you might be it. That's my little note here. What I'm doing. All right. So this little die here is, I think these are the cutest little ghosts ever. All right. So this one is called Boo to You. It's got 4 different sizes of little ghosts. It's got the little faces that you can put on there, and then it's got some accessories in terms of the hat and the broom. All right. So I just cut 2 of the larger ghosts out, and I love the fact that one is facing to the right, one is facing to the left. So that's what I'm going to do. So I just cut it out of white cardstock. And I thought I was going to put them on wobbles, but I think I'm going to do, only because Sherry mentioned it, and I think if we can show the glow in the dark embossing powder, because it's really, really cool. So I'm just going to change this up a little bit. So I did originally cut out all the little faces and all that, but I'm going to go with your suggestion, Sherry, and just kind of deviate here a little bit. So, okay, let's do our background first. All right, so we're going to use this lovely stencil here. All right, this one is called Swirling Stars. And like I said, this one I think is good for not only Halloween, it's good for wintry Christmas cards. And I think it'd be a fun background for celebrations as well. So let's get some color on here. And I think I'm just going to use the same colors here because why not? It worked so well the first time. But we are going to use that stencil, and we're going to use some gold on this one. All right. So I'm going to start with the blueprint sketch again. All right. So this one here, I'm going to do a full coverage on the paper here. So, I'm going to go pretty quick on this. And again, I'm sorry that I'm shaking the camera. I think I need to clean my brush. This is just not blending evenly. I think this is my oxide brush, or I used it for something that I shouldn't have. That's okay. As soon as I put that purple on, it fixes everything. So, all right. So this is just my base blue. We want just little hints of blue shining through. It'll be more that purpley black nighttime sky that we're going to create. All right, I'm just going to quit with this blue, I think, because I'm not liking how it's blending, but okay. Let's go into our purple now. This will fix it all. And again, I'm always going to start off the edge and then just kind of bring that purple to the center. So we're going to have more of a darker tone on the edge. Yeah, this is blending so much better. Okay, so I am quite happy with that. I'm going to move to the black. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do my stenciling first, and then I'll do the black. All right, so I'm going to use this guy here, and I'm going to use a gold metallic ink. All right, so let me just grab my gold metallic. And again, I'm going to use a Lisa Horton one. This is the one that's a limited edition. Comes in the 3-pack with silver and like a bronze or copper color. So I'm going to use this one, and I'm going to use just one of these dauber type. I'm going to pick that up, and I'm going to lay my stencil down. I think I'm going to hold my stencil down as well. I want to kind of center that pattern. It is a 6x6 stencil, so I'm just going to stick that as best I can. I'm going to hold that down. And then I'm going to use my little dauber in rotating motions. Okay, so you might need to push a little bit with this one here because it is the foam dauber. You could use a brush. It's just I was using this for another project, so it was on my desk. So I might as well not dirty up another product. So these metallic inks, they do move around really, really nicely. And you can apply them through a stencil lovely. And again, I'm not worried that I'm getting the full pattern here. We just want some texture in the background, some movement for our little ghosts. All right, just about there. All right. Okay, maybe a little bit more here. Okay, and in a moment, look, oh, that's awesome. All right, so let me just show you that. Oh, look how awesome that is. Oh, stunning, 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 stunning. Okay, gonna go back to that black ink now. And we're just going to apply it around the edges just to deepen up that color. All right. All right, and then we're just going to put this to the side to dry. Let all that ink dry, especially that metallic, because that metallic is a metallic pigment, so it is a little bit, takes a little bit longer to dry, but there is my background there. Oh, so lovely. I was going to use the stamps to stamp a verse or a sentiment on there, but I think my background's just a little too dark, so I'm going to use that other foiled sentiment that I had. So, all right, so now glow in the dark embossing powder, guys. All right, so here it is from Wow. This stuff is amazing. All right, and hopefully I'll be able to shut the camera or the lights off in my studio here, and you'll see it after we emboss it. All right, so I'm going to grab my little ghost. Okay, and let's do some embossing. All right, so to do this, I am going to use my Versamark ink pad. All right, and actually, you know what? One moment, please. Okay, you know what? I'm going to use my Wow one only because my Versamark has speckles in it. So same product, just different company. All right, so I'm going to take my ghost and I'm just going to press it right into the pad. My pad's a little dry. Oh, maybe. I was going to say my pad's a little dry, but maybe not. All right, so I'm going to do this. We're going to do a couple of coats. And you want to have that coated, that die cut coated with ink. And then I'm going to take my embossing powder, you give it a little shake, and let's cover that. This stuff is amazing, guys. If you do Halloween cards, you have to have glow in the dark. All right, I'm just saying. All right, so there's my first one. And I'm going to do the same thing with my second one. There is also, you can get the daubers, and that's what I was looking for. The embossing daubers would be great for this as well. I just don't know where mine is. All right, so instead I'm going to have gross fingers. All right, ooh, he flew away. All right, so go ahead, coat him up. And when I do anything like a die cut with embossing powder, I normally do 2 coats, all right? So 1 and 2. Put the lid on, and let's put this back in the container, and let's heat these up. All right, so let's get our little ghosts here, and let's get our heat tool. Okay, so when you are embossing die cuts and you apply the heat to them, they will tend to fly away. So you want to make sure you either have a craft pick or a good pair of, fine tip tweezers to hold it down. All right, so I just hold it You can hold it above about 1 to 2 inches and just watch it change, and you'll get what we call the linoleum finish, and I'll show you what that means. Okay, that one is done. I'm going to do this one next, and I'll show you what I mean about the first coat looking like linoleum. Okay, so this is my first one, and hopefully the camera will pick it up. But you'll see that there are kind of little pits and grooves in there, almost like a linoleum finish. And that's why I always like to do two coats. And let's see, yeah, maybe a little bit. You can see that, but it's not a true smooth surface on there. So we're going to do two coats on that one. All right, so both of them. So we're going to do the same process. We're going to take these now that they're cooled off. We're going to dip them back into the ink. The second coat when you put on a die cut is just always so awesome because you really see the difference. First coat is okay. The second coat's always so much better. All right, so coat to that. All right, and let's do the second coat for this one. Okay. And let's heat these guys up. I'll wait till you see them. I just hope the camera will show them with the glow in the dark because it's pretty cool. Really, really is. Okay, lid on. And let's heat these guys up. Same thing, you're going to hold on to them. All right, and we'll do the second guy here. Okay, so let me show you. Let me show you this now. And I'm hoping the camera, you were able to see that first coat, that linoleum finish. This one's a much smoother. You can see how smooth that is. So doing that second coat on die cuts is always really awesome. You'll get a nice smooth finish. All right, so there are my little ghosts. All right. Because I didn't do the eyes from the die, because I have these guys here. All right, these are the Spellbinders enamel stickers, the monster eyes. I do have an open pack here. And these just crack me up because some of them, you know, the eyes are bigger than the others, so they just make them really cute. They come in purple and greens and black. So I'm just going to stick some of these on my little ghosts. So let's do a set. Let's do the black ones here. So you could put a little dot of glue behind these. I did not, but you could. So there's that one. And then let's put these guys. These ghosts are going all out. We have glow in the dark, powder. We've got the monster eyes on there. We're going to put them on wobbles. And we've got a really cool background for them. All right, so there are my little ghosts. Don't they make you smile? Oh my gosh. Okay, let's see if they will glow in the dark. I'm going to be turning off the lights. I have two pretty strong lights here in my studio, so I'm just going to turn that off, and now my big light, and let's just see. Ah, yes, look at that. Oh my gosh, that really showed up really well. Haha, look how fun those are. My little glow in the dark. All right. Haha, that's so cool. All right. I'm so happy that that showed so well. Ah, love it. Okay, so let's put this all together now. All right, so I have my beautiful background here with that kind of gold star mix on there. We're going to go ahead and attach that onto a black card base here. So let's go do that. Oh, hello, Andrea. Yeah, you need some of that. You just get it from Notions Distributing. They have it. It is so stinking cool. Sorry, I'm telling Andrea where to get it only because she's a store owner joining us from New York. So I'm just sharing that tidbit from her. Everyone else, you can get it from me. So, all right. So I have that on the background there. And then let's put our little ghosts here. And I'm going to do the wobbles. And I have the two. I think we're going to do boo to you, or what was the other one? It's all a bunch of hocus pocus. I think that's the one we're going to use because I think it's going to fit better in that space. All right, so let's talk about wobbles. These are the mini wobbles from Pear Tree Blossom. Let me just grab them. I have them here. Pear Blossom Press. I always get Pear Tree. I don't know why. But these are the mini ones. And then there's also larger ones for bigger elements. So we're going to use them on there. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead. There are two sides to it. I don't know which is the best side. I always say the more open side is this. I'm going to stick my ghost on this side, and the more full side is best to be on your base because it's got just a little bit more stability there. So you're gonna peel off that, and then you're gonna go ahead and stick your wobble right behind there. All right. And the wobble is meant for it to move on there. It's going to like shake, rattle, and roll on your project. All right. The worst of these is getting the backings off. If you have no nails like me, it can be a little tricky. Once you get the side off, one side off, it's usually, there we go. I just piled all my nails down. So like literally before I went online here. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead. I want to make sure that he is positioned right on my card, that he's not. All right, so now he moves. Shake, rattle, and roll. All right, so let's do our second one. And we're going to place that behind there. I am going to put my little sentiment there so I kind of have that in position so I know where to put this guy. And peel the backing off of this guy. And now this guy can go right here. And now they're going to shake. Ah, so much fun. Okay, let's go to our sentiment here. I'm going to pop this up with some foam adhesive. And I think I need to cut these in half, or do I have my strips here? One moment, please, everyone. All right, we have strips. They're black, but that's okay. All right, let's do our strips. I do not know where my scissors. Oh, they're there. All right, so once I have this card done, we will turn off the lights one more time to get that kind of full effect of the whole card and see how much fun that really is. And then we'll bring out all the cards we created this evening. Me, my bright idea is popping this up. Next time, put it flat, Brenda. It would have been easier. All right, good enough. Okay, so Debbie, if you actually look for glow in the dark, it should pop up. It's going to be under Wow Embossing. All right, so Debbie is asking where the embossing powder is. We just got a big amount of it. I know I showed it last week on Happy Hour and we sold a bunch of it. but there is still some in stock. I know that. So, and then if you can't find it, Debbie, just shoot us a message. We'll get you hooked up with it. Yes, Andrea. I think this is my fifth card, Andrea. I tend to go overboard on our lives sometimes. This is a great way of how I get all my star samples done. But I also show her some really cool product as well. All right. So here we go. Da, da, da. Let's get that straight. All right. Now we will turn the lights off for our finished card. All right, here we go. Lights off. Whoa, look at that. So much fun. Oh my gosh. Love it, love it. Thanks, Sherry, for the idea of using the glow in the dark. I wasn't going to do that, but now our little ghosts have their little mouse, and I think they need them. I like to put them on, so I'm just going to put them on. I'm going to grab my wax tip here. So I'm just going to glue them on. They also have little rosy cheeks as well, which is kind of cool. I won't put them on. I'll just put the faces or the mouths on. Of course, they're flipped upside down. Now they look like happy little ghosts. All right, and this little guy. All right, we have happy little ghosts now. All right, so there is our last card, our little glow in the dark ghosts. All right, so there's the first one. And then our little witch's hat. All right, and that is our shaped card. All right, so that is our shaped card using that. And then we had our rub-ons from Spellbinders. All right, so there is that one, which I love that we did on an inked background, which is really cool. And then this one here, I have to still put together now that it's all dry. But we did a lovely little inked background on there, and we're going to go ahead and attach that. We're going to pop that up. I don't know. I really like that witch's hat on that background too. I don't know. I might change it up, guys. I might. All right. And then our last one, we did the little kitty cat on the Better Press background. All right. So there are our Halloween cards inspired from the new release from Hero Arts, as well as the rub-ons from Spellbinders. And like I said, guys, Nicole told me we only had a few left in stock. I do have more on order. So if you are wanting these ones and they say sold out on the website, just shoot us a message. We'll make sure your name goes down and we'll guarantee that you get them in your hands. They should be here next week. All right. So it won't be long before they're back in stock. So that is it, everyone. All right. So thanks for joining us on What's Up Wednesday on our spectacular adventure with all of the wonderful products that just came in from Hero Arts and Spellbinders. Thanks for joining us, everyone, this evening live and on the replay. And I will take pictures tomorrow morning, post them on our Facebook page so you can have up close look at them and the finished products. Until then, everyone, have yourself a wonderful night, and we will see you again. Bye.